So I wanted to ask Arian if this is Panium and this is the Sunday law, if he could just quickly give us the dates. If we have the exact dates, that would be good. As a minimum, the month. So if I understood you correctly, Panium is this block. Is that okay to draw it that way? Go ahead. And the year? So that's Panium. We might call that Boston, Concord, Exeter. And I'll just say Sunday law there. Concord.
That's
2022. Can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
February to September.
Oh, 1 second. February
Mm-hmm.
to September. Year?
2022.
So that's Concord. Exeter. Can I do this?
Yeah. I'm July and November 2024.
And Sunday law?
I don't have dates.
Are you expecting it to be a period? Or
yes.
You are?
Yeah.
So you are expecting that?
Yeah.
So it'll be, I'm going to use the word bookend. I hope we're all familiar with that idea. And so this would be the Sunday law. And we don't know where it is. And the year you don't know?
I would say 2025.
So you're going to say you know the year.
I would say as soon as Trump is in office.
Okay.
He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna wait a year or two to fix the Ukraine war. But it's not.
Okay, so I've done a trick here. So I'm going to back myself out of this. I'll leave Sunday law there. And I'm going to call this King of the South. That's why you're saying it's 2025.
Yeah.
It's not the Sunday law. Because that's not what this story is.
I gave the dates for my King of the South line.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've erased Sunday law. This is not a Sunday law waymark. It's the death of the King of the South waymark.
Yeah.
And you've given the year because Trump has promised that. He's already predicted the year. So, does anybody have any questions on that structure? Because people weren't sure with the dates or what it looked like, perhaps. One second. Do you have dates or just those months on any of them that you remember?
No, Panium, I don't have
Nothing for Panium?
dates. Concord, I would say February 21st to September 30. Exeter, July 5 to November 7.
Okay.
Only question would be following. If Biant can assume the year because of Trump's promise, can't he also then assume the month? Because Trump said he will resolve this in the first day.
Okay, so there's some discussion about if we could mark January as that month, because Trump has suggested that he's going to get it fixed as soon as possible. But Arian, you're saying what?
Marco said that Trump said he's going to fix it on his first day. And I don't think he said it. I think he said he will fix it in one day.
Okay. Any questions, anybody? While we're waiting, February 2021, what is that? No, not that question. What is this? What is this story from February to October?
Biden
Between the King of the North and the King of the South, and Biden wins. And this predates the invasion.
Yeah.
So this information war is part of the Ukrainian war, but it predates the invasion because people have been confused about that. Concord. What is the story of Concord?
That's the world coming in unity. Agree standing with the USA against Russia.
So
And
it's the world unifies against the King of the South. They come into concord against Russia.
yes. Although I take the word world here, not literal, all the nations.
Okay, so we agree, or not? You've said it's not all the world, but we're going to leave that word there.
Yes.
And this is something that happens at the UN or not?
think it is best illustrated at the UN.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that was the fulfillment or something, but yeah.
So concord is when certain countries unify together and condemn the actions of Russia.
Mhm.
Exeter.
And concord is also
Sorry.
um, hmm, yes, it's part of the story. Yeah, concord is also the king of the south, uh, uh, the king of the south in trouble. And those, no, sorry. Let's go to Exeter. That's the world unifies against the king of the south. That's the ambassadors.
Exeter.
Exeter. That is sorry. Yes, it is Orban and Trump trying to fix the Ukrainian crisis.
So the king of the north is trying to fix the war.
First attempts.
So it's the first attempt by the king of the north to try and resolve the war. Yeah. Curtis, did you want to say something about Concord? Oh, so I'll just wait then. And the death of the king of the south.
The king of the north resolves the Ukrainian crisis.
The king of the south, sorry, the king of the north resolves the conflict. And why is that the death of the king of the south?
Because the king of the south brought himself in a position where he cannot help himself. And the only one that can help the king of the south is the king of the north.
So I've put that the king of the south becomes subservient to the king of the north.
Yeah.
King of the south got themselves into a problem that they can't get themselves out of.
And that's what I wanted to add to Concord, because that's where the problem was created.
Concord, the king of the south, is in a mess that he can't fix. Is that okay?
Mm.
Does anybody have any questions besides Curtis on this? I guess there should be simple questions. either they don't understand something or they disagree with that historical narrative. So we'll go with Tamina, Andreas, Curtis.
I was gonna ask at the Exeter waymark, instead of the King of the North trying, could we say the King of the North is predicting that he's going to solve the issue or the conflict?
Yeah, perhaps the first attempt is not the right way to say it. But the process is set in motion. If that's, I think that is better. The process is set into a motion. And yes, there is a prediction in it as well.
If I change that to the King of the North says he will resolve the war. Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Andreas?
So my question is about the king of the Battle of Panium, which we know is a victory for the King of the North. And I wanted to ask Arian if you have thought about what would have a victory for the King of the South looked like. And how would that have contributed to the King of the South not dying? I don't know if that makes sense.
Does it make sense? Yeah.
So you're asking, what would Panium have looked like if the King of the South had won that war? Never thought about it. Then we would have seen a even better version of Raffia. Better between brackets, but a more powerful Russia than in Raffia. I would say Raffia marks the high point, the climax point in the power that Russia had. So Panium would have looked even better for Russia. More influence, higher credibility. That's, I guess.
If it had been that way round, could we have ever called it Panium?
No.
Okay. Curtis?
Two questions. One's for one. Please, could you remind me what happened on 21 February 2022 on Concord?
Yeah, you're sharp because it's I think I did not put that date on the whiteboard when I presented it. But 21st of February is where Russia declares those provinces of Ukraine independent nations. And the September the 30th is the same regions he now annexes, he claims them. The 30th of September. September 30, he annexes those same provinces.
What's the difference between the two?
So the first one is Declaration of Independence. So he declares those provinces as independent states.
Oh,
And in September, he adds them to the Russian Empire, so to speak.
so in February, he declares that they're not part of Ukraine, they're independent states.
Yeah.
And then in September, he says they're part of Russia.
Yeah, there was a referendum. Yeah, so the word
Yeah,
annexation left.
So I'm going to
doesn't-
move that,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and September 30 was also the United Nations Security Council vote. And there was one on the 25th of February. I think these are for me, the four events that would mark Concord.
So with number 3 and 4, I understand that you're equating that to Egypt. Sending ambassadors to Rome.
Ambassadors.
As a symbol of the world and Egypt. So please could you, I know I've asked you this privately, but please could you explain how that application fulfills the characteristics of the dragon, which is Egypt, in that story? Please could you explain how you make that application of Egypt, which is the dragon, to be the UN/the world?
What did I answer you privately? I didn't? Oh. I don't remember either. I don't remember. No, yeah, we talked about it. So what I'm saying, Egypt represents the world, or the dragon, if you want. And in this application, I mark that as the king of the north and its allies. They were not in unity at all on the subject of Russia. And it took the invasion to come in unity on it. And
Is that right?
I will come back in another time to perhaps explain that better.
Is that correct? What's on the board now?
Yes. Yes.
The world is, you're labeling it as the allies of the King of the North, and Rome is USA.
Yes.
Does that satisfy you? And so that doesn't satisfy you. Okay. He said, Cody said that's not satisfactory.
I know. I know. But he was only allowed to ask easy questions.
Could you just say why? What's the problem with that?
What I was asking was, I want to understand how you go from Egypt dragon to the world. Like what? I know we say Egypt equals the world.
You agree with that? That in this story, Egypt represents the world. You agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay. What do you think that Egypt represents in this story?
USA. Seventh kingdom. Let me put the seventh kingdom.
And Rome,
The false prophet.
USA.
Yeah.
Arian, when you said the world,
Mm-hmm.
where'd you get that from? Did you make it up, or you got it from somebody?
I don't have the Bible verse, but there, if you run Egypt through the Bible, I mean, we have Daniel 11:42.
You got it from the Bible?
Yeah.
Not from Jeff or Tess?
I don't think so.
Okay. So Tess has never made an application of this story.
No.
She never identified who Rome was in application.
No. No, not in this ambassadors Egypt Rome story. I don't think so.
She never identified who the King of the South was, or Pyrrhus, in application.
Yes, she did.
Who was that?
Russia.
And she never bothered to tell us who killed Russia.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yes. USA.
So this USA here is defined by Elder Tess.
Yeah.
But she never told us who Egypt was. So Curtis says she did define it.
Oh.
And who did she say it was?
She didn't say it in this story. She tells us who the seventh kingdom is.
Just asking in this one.
Oh.
If you're making the same story, that's fine.
She's gonna say it's the USA.
So in this story, no, you're saying not in this story.
Yeah.
Okay. Natalie, you've got a reference or somewhere that she said this Egypt is someone?
I always thought Elder Tess said Egypt was the UN, and I've found it on a video. Yeah. I've found that a video, I've got the timestamp, not right now, where Elder Tess said Egypt is the UN.
So two people, Monica and Natalie, say that Elder Tess said that Egypt represents the United Nations. But neither of them can show that. We'll go with Curtis.
A year or months later, Elder Tess is going to clarify what she means. She's going to cross out UN, and then she's going to put USA.
So you knew about the UN.
Yeah. That's all.
Natalie, UN? Show it to Curtis. I have no idea. No, she needs to. We need to tell people what it is. It's the reference.
September
Yeah.
28th.
That's what my yeah, so
27th of September 2018. Sorry. No, we're here. So that's at the midnight cry.
video 5.
And she says it's the UN.
Yeah.
And sometime later,
She's going to refine it and apply it to the USA. Or change. She's going to change it.
I say it's not a refinement, it's a change. And so you're basing the USA here on a statement from Elder Tess. No. Oh, Tamina, sorry.
What we spoke of about the allies of the King of the North coming into concord. And the world. It reminded me of Revelation 17. When the 10 kings, the world, has to come into concord to give the 1 hour to the beast. I was wondering if we could bring Revelation 17 into the story. Or is it wrong?
Any comment? I wouldn't. It would seem imprudent. Unsafe. Not wise. Monica?
I have a question on this UN/USA. UN. Mám otázku ohľadne USA lomeno UN. We learned that when the sixth kingdom is coming down, čili sme sa, že keď šieste kráľovstvo padá, what is coming down is UN above USA. To, čo padá, je vlastne Spojené národy nad USA. Yeah. So should I repeat? Or?
Yes, please repeat.
Okay, so the sixth kingdom that is coming down, that is UN above USA. Šieste kráľovstvo, ktoré padá, je vlastne Spojené štáty. I can't translate. Okay. And the one that is rising, a to, które powstała, is USA above UN. Spojené štáty nad Spojenými národmi.
Have you just said this, Monica? Have you just said this? Is that what you just said? And you said this is 6 and this is 7?
Where this was happening.
Is this what you've said? My understanding is that this is USA and this is USA.
Yes, but she was showing that until Sunday law, USA were under UN, but after the Sunday law, USA is above UN.
Do you agree with this? Okay, and so it's different to what you said. Okay.
I have a thought, but I don't think I can express it now.
So just to summarize, I added 273, is that correct?
Yes.
I got 273 from Egypt going to Rome. Except there are people saying that's not correct.
It's the other way around. It's not this one. It's the one where Rome sends ambassadors to Egypt.
Which one happens first?
This one. And then Elder Tess says the other one happens at the Sunday law, 272.
I didn't mention Elder Tess.
No, I know.
I said there are people who are saying this is not 273.
No, it's the other one. So the people that say it's another date, it's the one where Elder Tess says it's 272.
Who's the they?
So there's discussion about
I thought there are people saying this is 274, not 273.
there's his.
I'm talking about people in the movement that are saying this is 274. And they're questioning this 273.
No, I think the people in the movement are saying that 273, both Egypt sends ambassadors to Rome and Rome sends ambassadors to Egypt in the same year. That's how I understood it. So there are people in the movement now. They say that 273 was the year where Egypt sends its ambassadors to Rome. And also Rome sends its ambassadors to Egypt in the same year.
Or it
Yes.
happens the following year.
Or it happens the following year.
And then this would be 274.
Yeah, there's 3 or maybe 4 options you can pick in this discussion.
Only 2. 273 or 274.
For this one, yes. For this waymark, you can choose 274 or 273.
Okay.
But I don't think this is under discussion, this one.
got two options. It's under discussion.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So I put 273. I just want to clarify. That Aaron says, and others, this didn't happen in 273. It's happened in 274. Unless I've misunderstood what they say,
Is
what
that
they're
from the
teaching.
presentation or from private conversation?
I think for a presentation. I think. Okay.
Depends what you pick from, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. I put 273
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that most people believe that. So this is the line of the battle between the King of the North and the King of the South. I assume everybody agrees with the dates. You agree with those dates? Which dates do you disagree with? That in February, Biden doesn't begin some information battles with Russia. Just the dates. 6 of them. Doesn't have a microphone. So you don't agree that on the 5th of July, there's a story about the King of the North saying he's going to do something that ends in November.
That happened, but what's to say those are the events that we're going to mark for that way mark?
I didn't ask that question.
Yeah, so that's can you clarify what you're asking? Do I agree that those things happened? Yeah.
Do we agree those things happen on those dates? Yes. So we agree the dates are accurate. Some people disagree with the application of those events. Is that fair enough?
We'll have questions.
Disagree. Just between us, who disagrees with Panium? Concord? Exeter? And obviously then Sunday law. Death of the King of the South. So Curtis disagrees with these interpretations amongst us. And that shouldn't come as a surprise because Curtis is one of the messengers who has an alternative position on that. And I don't mean that in any funny way. You'd expect him to have objections because he already has an established view on those points. And I'm guessing that the rest of you think, oh, this sounds really reasonable. Most of you. And if Curtis had done 3 presentations, everything would have been the opposite. You would have thought that's reasonable. And those stars would have been Aryan. with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. You can see how difficult this is to fix. Because when you present, it looks very persuasive. And next time when Curtis presents, it'll look very persuasive. Aaron, Elder Terry, when they present, it all looks like it's got integrity. Hope we've enjoyed our time together. Let's close with prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you that we're able to discuss our thoughts and ideas, our acceptance and rejection of people's views, in an atmosphere where hopefully we can feel safe to do so. May it be not only our prayer, but our aim as we review what people's expectations are and what our behavior is, that we may obey you and apply the golden rule. Whether we're an angel, part of the flock, someone who has a message, may we be willing to do what we're supposed to. Primarily to trust in you. In Jesus' name, amen.
In closing, short announcement.